Hi, I'm Phyllis, southernfrugal.com. I wanted to share today what the actual cost of the renovation of this RV was. And we did keep track of all the receipts and everything. Now, this of course doesn't include our labor, which was a lot. So anyway, the first thing we had to do with the renovations was to remove the couch that was in this location where the recliners are. And we were able to get that out, but we had to take it kind of out the back, and then we had to unhook the bottom and all kinds of stuff, but we were able to get it out. And of course, in that same section, I had measured, and so I knew exactly the size recliners we could get for the RV and that they would fit. Now, we had to have wall huggers so that they don't go into the drapes or anything when the seats are down and the footrest is up. The recliner actually moves away from the wall, so it never really touches the wall. The sun's going in and out this morning. We've got 30-mile-an-hour winds outside this morning, and it's also much cooler. So anyway, so I kept track of everything. I kept all my receipts and everything. So I'll just start out with my list. First of all, I bought the Bissell Power Lift Power Brush Upright Deep Cleaner, and I ordered that from Amazon, but it was delivered from Bissell. And I got that because I figured out what the cost would be to rent that Rug Doctor thing 3 times, would pay for this machine, and then I would have it. So I could also use it, in the house for rugs and everything. So, because we don't have any carpet in the house, but we do have carpet in this RV. So I just let the RV take the cost 1/3 of the cost of that Bissell, so that was $37.65. And also for the new leather or leather new complete leather color restore and repair kit, which I bought for the green recliner to see if I could repair it, which I was able to somewhat repair it. But anyway, that's in the house. Mr. Bucky's saying he wants to keep that and get rid of one of the others or whatever. So it's still sitting in my dining room right now. But anyway, I used the repair kit also on these 2 chairs in front. Well, just one of the chairs, because the driver's chair was not split on the seat. The passenger seat was split in 3 places, about like that. And the repair kit definitely worked on the splits. They have not come back apart or anything. So anyway, the cost I allowed for that was $9.98, because the kit cost $29.95, which I thought was pretty expensive, but you get all the colors and everything in there. So anyway, we'll move right along. So we've got so far the Bissell Power Lifter. I allowed $37.65 for that. The leather repair kit, I allowed $9.98 for that. And I am going to give you all a total when I go over all these. All right, so we bought, I bought a box of, they called it a box of curtains. I bought 6 panels for the curtains that you see right here and around the windshield and the side windows, and I split those in half. So I bought 6 panels, and let's see, the total cost of that, they were Better Homes and Garden curtains from Walmart, and the cost was $107.82. Now, because of the county that our Walmart is located in, their tax is 7%. So when Walmart sends me anything, they charge me that county's tax, because that's where the Walmart's located, which I don't like at all, but you got to pay it. So each of the panels was $17.97, and I got 6 of them. So anyway, that cost is there. The other thing I bought was a TV tilt monitor wall mount. That was $21.69. I also bought Angelus, Angelus brand acrylic leather paint. I did not go back to the brand I had bought for the repair of the chairs in front. I decided to get the Angelus, so I bought two 4-ounce bottles of that cream colored paint, which just happened to be the perfect color for these chairs. And I also bought a bottle of finisher, and I have not put that on yet because we're still kind of testing this seat out to see if anything's going to come apart, but eventually I'll put that finisher on that. So 2 bottles of the paint were $17, and that was for 4-ounce bottles, and the finisher was $9.95, which I haven't used yet. Okay, so that's sort of, we ordered this stuff from a Walmart, and I think the paint came from Amazon. And also I've got the Pro Lounger Wall Hugger microfiber recliners, and those came from Walmart on the internet. I ordered them, and it was I didn't have to pay any shipping, so that was great. So they were $199.88 each, and I got 2 of them. But again, I had to pay tax because the sale came through the county next to us where Walmart is located. So anyway, that was the chairs. So I've covered the chairs, the curtains, the paint, and stuff to cover the chair, the carpet cleaner. All right, so moving on along, then I also had to get the vinyl. Now that was pretty expensive. I bought, I think, 4 yards, and I did have to pay shipping on that also, and tax. But anyway, my cost was $151.97. That would include shipping and tax. And that was purchased through another company. It's called All Vinyl Fabrics. And so that wasn't Walmart or Amazon. And also the bedspread on the bed and back was from Walmart locally, and that was $49. So you got the pillow shams, the dust ruffle, which I didn't use, and of course the bedspread. And it was sort of a closeout thing because you know, it was past Christmas and all that, and I think it was on sale too. I'm not sure, but I think it was. Anyway, that was $49. Now, I also ordered 2 metallic gold shower curtains to use as curtains in the back bedroom because they would match the spread. Now, I didn't know they would match until I ordered them, but they did match, and one of them was late. So they had said I would get 2-day delivery on them, but one of them was 2 days late, which really didn't bother me at all because I wasn't ready to fix the curtains. But so Walmart sent me an email and said, we're giving you a $5 credit because your second shower curtain was 2 days late. So I got a $5 credit, so I deducted that from my cost. So the other thing, and this thing was so much trouble, y'all just wouldn't even believe how much trouble this was. The carbon monoxide and gas detector. Someone it had come down from the little cabinet. It's up under the cabinet, and we've got another one in the back right in front of the bed. But this particular one I think is there because the small gas furnace is right on the floor down here, and I think that's why they put it there. That's originally where Tiffin RV Company put that smoke detector, and it had been changed probably a couple of times. But here was the problem. They had all these wires in it that I didn't understand because I'm the electrician in our family. I didn't understand that, and I don't like to do anything to do with electrical unless I understand it. So what I suspected was the detector had aluminum wiring. This RV has got all copper wiring, and I know that putting copper and aluminum together can be a problem. Probably not for no more power than this little thing takes, but something big like a plug-in or a light switch might be a problem. But I wanted to be sure. Somebody else before me wanted to be sure too. That's why they made all those connections. So that carbon monoxide and gas detector also has an inline fuse. Now, all the wiring and everything I've ever done was in a home, never in an RV, and certainly not in a car. So I know almost zero about that. So I had to do research. So I talked to Tiffin, the manufacturer of this RV, and I talked to the people that make the detector. I got little or no help from them, and they told me that they couldn't really help me because I had ordered their detector through Amazon, which I thought, what kind of policy is that? Because I ordered their product through Amazon, they can't help me. So anyway, I was back and forth with Tiffin, and this was 2 or 3 weeks had gone by because I really wanted to get that situated there. And so, well, let me turn it around and show y'all what it looks like. Hold on. Okay, there's what it looks like. Can y'all see that? Now that hole that they cut in there, they almost cut it too small, so I had to position it. Both of the places where it was to be screwed were kind of wrenched out, so I actually had to glue a board, a little small board, right across here before I could even get it to stay up in there. And the people before me had actually put duct tape on it to hold it up in there. All right, let's go back and sit down and I'll finish telling you about this. All right, so y'all see where the detector is and everything. So it was a good 3 weeks that we were kind of back and forth, talking to this person, talking to that person, because I had the inline fuse with that wire, and they had converted, I'll call it, the wire from aluminum to copper, and they had that wrapped in some kind of little plastic thing that I'd never seen before. And so I just kind of set it aside in the house, thinking somehow or another I'm going to figure this out. Mr. Bucky couldn't figure it out. And so anyway, this just went on. So then it happened here, I guess last week sometime, that I had to go by, let me get the name of that, one of those Advanced Auto Parts. And I had been there before to do with a car battery or something Mr. Bucky sent me for. And so while I was in there, I actually had my my carbon monoxide and gas detector with me in the car because I was hoping that I would find somebody in Lowe's that might know something about why those wires were connected that way. So while I was in there, the guy that was waiting on me, young guy, I asked him if he knew anything about an inline fuse on wiring, and I told him we had an RV and it was to do with the carbon monoxide and gas detector. And he said, well, yeah, and he walked over and showed me this little thing which looked exactly like what was on the wire. So I said, well, if I go get that out of the car, can you kind of tell me why they did that and what it is? So I went and got it, and he said, oh yeah. He said, well, here's the problem. Your inline fuse is burned out. So, and I know it must have burned out when it was warning us that we needed to get a new one because it had been 7 years, and these things are supposed to last only 5 years. So I knew that was probably when it burned the fuse out. So anyway, he proceeded to fix the little fuse thing, showed me what to do and to hook the wires together. When I came back home, I came straight out here, connected it, glued my little board in so I could get the screws in, and voila. And what he had told me, he said, well, if your green light starts flashing, you know you've got it connected right. As soon as I connected the wires, voila, it worked. So I learned a lot from all that, but I'm sorry it took 3 weeks back and forth and talking to different people to figure it out. So anyway, that carbon monoxide and gas detector was $119. And that's exactly why I had to get it right. So, and that's the sun fading in and out. It's not my camera, y'all. This is the sun going in and out with behind some big clouds. So anyway, that was the carbon monoxide and gas detector. And so that covered, that was a pretty big expense, so it really needed to work. All right, so then we came on down, and I got my $5 credit from Walmart. So my total cost there on these items was $998.98, and that included 7% tax on the things that came from Walmart. All right, so that was that. Now, the other things that we had to get, now, and I'll mention this about the wall mount for the TV. I only paid $21 for that, $21.69 for that, but I could not find a stud. I thought I could find a wood stud. All of them are aluminum, so no way I was going to drill into one that was aluminum, not knowing how the wires went, because over in the location where we were going to put it, there is a plug-in, of course, that carbon monoxide detector, a light, a telephone hookup, and another little light. So, and the seat belt thing is hooked on there. So I just was not going to drill into that wall, or into that stud, the aluminum stud, without knowing where the wires were. So we just disked that idea altogether. So that $21 was for nothing, and we could have returned it, no problem, except the return on the postage was going to cost as much as because it came from Colorado. So it just was not of a benefit to send it back, so we just kept it. Maybe we'll use it in our home later. So anyway, and I did make a couple more mistakes I'm going to tell you all about. So then the rest of it, all of these little receipts are from Lowe's, some of them are from Walmart, and some of them are from the Advanced Auto Place. And we did get a couple of things from there, but we got the paint, and I did get that Reserve Bellspar paint, which has primer in it. And I'll tell you all this, you might already know this, but when I painted in here, I of course looked up all of what I needed to do and to make sure I did everything right, and everybody said, oh, you must put oil-based primer over that wallpaper before you paint it. Not true with this coach, because that wallpaper is heat set on plywood. There's no way it is ever coming off unless you heat it up, big time heat it up, which of course we would never be doing. So I ended up putting 3 coats of paint, 1 of primer and 2 of the regular paint, which also had primer in it. And that worked out fine, but when I did the bathroom, I didn't even bother with the oil-based primer, because I knew the wallpaper is not coming off. You cannot get this wallpaper off with anything water. It's just not coming off, y'all. So that was kind of a waste, but I do know that some RVs have wallpaper that is just the regular wallpaper paste, so that you might have to put that oil-based primer on that, but not on these walls. That was a step I could have avoided had I known better, which I didn't. So anyway, so we had it Advanced Auto Parts, and I'll just sort of tell y'all what these are. $10.14, and then another $8.54. And then I had to do something to do with wiring, caulk. I bought a couple of towels, which they were $6.97 each for the right color, y'all, for 2 of those towels to use as hand towels in the bathroom. And also I had to buy the oak boards, and I ended up, I bought 1 oak board where the TV is sitting on. That was $25.55. And then I bought the tabletop, which is really just pine, but it was $38. So it was the right size, though, so I definitely went ahead and got that. And the stripper, and I got command strips, I got screws, and I got stain. I had to get a little thing of stain, all kinds of little things like that. And let's see, the peel and stick tile, I got that from Lowe's. That was closing out on that one, and I do think at some point I'm going to replace that with maybe a different color or something with a little red in it. But anyway, that was in all this cost. So, and the cork board that I put up there, and I bought the other little board, which I'm using in the house, not out here. So anyway, all of that, the extra stuff, was $585.38. Now that sounds like a lot, but look at all the receipts I have. So a lot of little things. And I was trying to, oh, and I had to buy a staple gun that was electric in order to get the surround vinyl on, because I wasn't strong enough with my hand held backwards up above my head on top of this slide out. I could not do it. Mr. Bucky couldn't do it either, so it just was impossible, let's put it that way. Plus the staple gun was too big, the manual one. So I had to get an electric staple gun, which I really didn't mind getting, simply because I can use it for many other things. So anyway, then the mistakes I made, and I did make some, y'all. One of the things that I did was I bought a water-based polyurethane, and I did not realize it until I had already opened the can, bent the top, because you could tell I had opened it, and actually put a coat on the table. And I kept trying to figure out, why does this look so milky? And because I definitely like the oil-based urethane. I think it looks better, it dries better, and it lasts. You know, it doesn't. The water-based doesn't hold up to the wear and tear. So anyway, I had to remove that. I had to sand it off the table. And what I ended up using was I had about that much in a can in the garage where I'd done the kitchen table. So anyway, that was a mistake. It was a $17.67 mistake. The TV swivel wall mount attachment was $21. And also the oil-based primer was not really needed like I thought it was. So, but I went ahead and bought it, but I only used maybe a third of it out of the can, so I won't be needing that for anything else, not to do with the RV. So my mistakes were $48.36, but they were mistakes I had to pay, and so that went into my cost. So my total cost to renovate the inside of the RV, and that includes everything I did, from curtains to recliners to paint to buying screws and bolts and that kind of thing, was $1,584.36. So, excuse me, the pollen's getting to me, y'all. And I might just share that our older dog Peppy started having a problem I know this is off the subject, but I have to tell y'all, started having a problem with the pollen. And of course, me and Mr. Bucky have been coughing and sneezing and blowing our nose and all that, but have not really taken anything. But the pollen was really, really bad this year. So Peppy developed a problem, and so I had to take him to the vet last week because he was just snorting, his nose was running. I wanted to make sure he didn't have some kind of infection. Turns out it's the pollen with him too. As long as he's inside, he doesn't have any problem. But when he goes out and comes back in, he's making all this noise with his nose. So anyway, we ended up, because the vet wanted to be sure there wasn't any kind of infection there, he ended up on antibiotics and also on baby Benadryl. And that definitely works for him. So anyway, I wanted to just mention that he's still having to take it, even though we've had rain 2 different times. Now, it rained yesterday, and this morning when he went out, he was fine when he first went out. But the wind picked up outside, the sun came out, and he went out, and he came back in, and he had to have Benadryl. So we're hoping that this pollen season is going to get over pretty quick. So anyway, that's it, y'all, and I wanted to share with y'all about the cost of renovating the inside of this RV. We did not replace the flooring because the carpet was relatively new when we purchased it. I did clean it though. I put down baking soda they had put down some kind of a deodorizer, but I couldn't really tell it was on the carpet. It was definitely on the couch and the curtains. So I went ahead and put down baking soda on the carpet. Now, if I had that to do over again, I wouldn't do it at all. I used 3 boxes of baking soda on the carpet all the way through. Then I had to vacuum it all up, and then I cleaned it with really warm water in the Bissell vacuum cleaner, the Bissell carpet cleaner. And the carpet is fine. I got very little dirt out of it, a couple of cat hairs, because the man who owned this before us had a cat, and but nothing spectacular. It just really wasn't dirty at all, to tell you the truth. So anyway, that's about it. I'm out here to do my last renovating act, and that is to remove the carpet from this little double-doored closet back here, because something else, it smells like some kind of lady's perfume was sprayed in there. And I don't want my clothes smelling like that. So Mr. Bucky says he can't smell it, but I can smell it. So I'm going to pull that carpet out and just put some shelf liner in there, and not worry about it, because I don't need carpet in the closet. And I'm putting the shelf liner in there so any shoes or anything that we put in there won't be moving all around. Alright, y'all, that's it. Total cost of renovating this RV was $1,584.36, and we are both very happy with the renovation. And I just realized I forgot to tell you one thing, which was the material I got for the curtains, that stripe material. All y'all seem to like that, and I like it too now that it's not so dominant on the dining room chairs. But I got that fabric from Hobby Lobby, and in fact I think I did a video when we went to get that fabric. Let me just see if I can find that receipt real quick. I did know the cost. Yeah, here it is. Okay, the total cost, I got 4 yards, and the total cost was $55.48. And I did use almost all that material. I have very little left, but I did have enough. Once I took it off the chairs over here, I had enough to make the little curtain, and I wanted to, it's not made, the stripe is going the opposite way of what it normally would go if when you're sewing, and you ladies that sew know what I'm talking about. You have to let the pattern run along the selvage edge, and this material is running the opposite, but it's 100% polyester, so it's not going to stretch much, and it is washable, so I'm happy with that. Alright, y'all, that's it, and we're going to get back to the cooking real soon now. We've been eating out of the freezer a lot, pre-cooked meals like lasagna. Y'all remember the little meatloaf thing, and I forget several different things, just so we'd have enough time to work out here. So anyway, I'm going to get that carpet up, and I am done in here. So we will see y'all next time. Bye for now.